see. I want to see or check the attendance and the absence. طيب. Wait a minute, please. طيب. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
وإذا صوتي مثلا راح أو إشي خبروني عشان مرات النت بيكون مش كويس. طيب. Grade 8. نسرين طه.
Yes.
نتالي صارت وطني صح؟ ناشونال. طيب. محمود حجاوي.
موجود.
ثانك يو. محمود سواعي. طيب. محمد جمال.
موجود.
كيفك يا محمد؟
الحمد لله يا أستاذ، مشتاق لك.
طيب. طلبة. اوكي مش موجود. محمد ضافر اور ضهافر.
موجود.
اوكي. طيب. ليث موجود. طيب. لونا.
نقلت وطني.
أستاذ.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
كندا.
نعم أستاذ موجودة.
اوكي. طيب. عمرو.
Teacher, what page is this?
I'm here.
طيب.
I am here.
نسرين page 343.
Okay.
طيب. عمرو حكينا اسمه. طيب. يوزمان.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes.
عمرو.
اوكي. طيبة.
هون أستاذ.
اهلا طيبة، كيف حالك؟
الحمد لله.
طيب. شهد نقلت ولا بعدها؟
بدأت نقول؟
لا I'm asking you.
يعني حسب
تحضر معكم
علمي
حصص
ما.
ثانية؟
نعم.
تحضر معكم مثلا عربيك ماث؟
لا ولا شيء.
ولا لحد الآن ولا حصة حضرت معنا.
طيب. زيد.
موجود يا أستاذ.
اوكي. راشد.
نعم.
احمد ابو خضير اللي اخذ مني اذن الصبح. طيب ثانك يو. يعني اي ثينك انه انتم الان 15 ستودنتس، مع انه حكينا لونا وناتالي طلعوا صار وطني، صارتوا 15 كنتوا 17. طيب اوكي خلينا ليتس ستارت. الكل فتح على هاي الصفحه.
Yes.
طيب ثانك يو. اوكي. طيب energy from the sun, as we mentioned in the previous class or in the previous lesson that most of the energy that is moving within Earth's atmosphere and across Earth's surface comes from the sun, or on another يعني simply sun is the major source of energy on Earth. Okay. Sun's energy travel to Earth as what? Electromagnetic
radiation
or electromagnetic waves.
أستاذ أي صفحة هاي؟
مالكو 343. Topic 7. Look, طالعة. Topic 7. Energy in the atmosphere and ocean. Okay. Here, this page is فتح الكل فتح.
Yes.
طيب. Okay. So the sun's energy travels to Earth as electromagnetic radiation or electromagnetic waves. What is the meaning of electromagnetic? It is divided into two parts. Electro from means electric field and magnetic means magnetic field. يعني these waves or the energy of sun or sun's energy travel or come from the space to Earth as
Of electricity.
electromagnetic waves. These waves have, by the way, they are different from the sound waves and other types of waves because they have electric field and magnetic field. And also the energy from the sun can move. This is something unique for these waves, that they can move through vacuum of space. As you know, in the space or in the vacuum, there is no matter. Sound waves, on the other hand, and other types of waves can't move through the space. Okay? Sound waves need air, water, or solid, need a medium to travel. But electromagnetic radiation or electromagnetic waves do not
Doesn't need a medium.
can move through the vacuum. They do not need a medium. Is this point understood?
Yes, it is understood.
All of the waves, look, electromagnetic radiation or electromagnetic waves include different types of waves. Example, radio waves. Microwaves are also electromagnetic waves. X-rays, also the visible light, the light colors of rainbow that you see are examples of electromagnetic waves. Radio waves, television waves, all of these are electromagnetic radiation. Okay? So when you use a microwave oven or watch a television, you are using any energy created by electromagnetic waves. طيب. Now, these waves are different from each other according to their length. It is called wavelength. Electromagnetic waves are different from each other or can be classified according to the wavelength. What is the meaning of wavelength? As I told you in the previous lesson, that waves or electromagnetic waves have wavelength. The wavelength is the distance between two adjacent peaks or two crests. This is called the crest and this is called the crest. The distance between this and this is called wavelength. Right. So electromagnetic waves are different from each other or are classified according to wavelength. For example, some of these waves are very short, some of these waves are very long, some of these waves are medium. طيب, another example of electromagnetic waves, the infrared radiation. تعرفوا الانفراريد? And also the ultraviolet radiation. All of these are examples of electromagnetic waves. Also the visible light. What is the meaning of visible? Who can tell me?
Things we can see, the light that we can see.
Visible light. The visible light is the colors of rainbow: red, orange, yellow, blue, violet, indigo, and green. Okay, all of these are or belong to the electromagnetic waves or electromagnetic. This is called, by the way, all of these waves together are called electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, electromagnetic spectrum. The electromagnetic spectrum includes all of electromagnetic waves, visible and invisible. It includes the visible light, infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays, radio waves, microwaves, and so on. طيب شباب فاهمين ولا لا؟
لا يا أستاذ فاهمين.
طيب
فاهمين.
فاهمين.
طيب. Look here, now sunlight and the atmosphere. Before talking about the sunlight and the atmosphere, I want to explain for you the parts of the atmosphere. Look, the atmosphere is divided into 4 layers or 4 parts. The first part is called troposphere. What is it? What is it called? What its name? What is the name of the first layer? It's called
troposphere.
هون شو هذا air surface. Troposphere is the closest part or the closest layer of the atmosphere. Then above, after the troposphere, there is
Stratosphere.
Then mesosphere, and finally, or the last one is called thermosphere. Wait a minute, please. Okay. So the atmosphere that we know is not it's not thin, it's a thick sphere, it's a thick and also it made up of layers or parts. If we start from the air, the closest one to the Earth's surface is called troposphere, then stratosphere, mesosphere, and thermosphere. طيب. What do you see here? These are electromagnetic waves. This is the visible light. Here, infrared, which is abbreviated as IR. Here, ultraviolet. And look at the side, there are longer waves, more waves, longer waves.
So Yusuf, what is the longer waves?
Longer waves, example of longer waves like radio waves. Radio waves, by the way, are very long. Here, shorter waves, like there are some waves that are not mentioned here. Gamma rays, for example, X-rays. Gamma rays and X-rays are examples of electromagnetic waves that are very short. Right. Now, these waves are coming from the sun. So here, for example, the sun, this is the atmosphere. Of course, there is a long distance between the sun and the atmosphere. Right. This is the upper part of the atmosphere is thermosphere, and the lowest part is troposphere. Yani, these you have to understand the arrangement or the order of these spheres. If we start, or the closest one to the Earth is troposphere, and the farthest layer from Earth's surface is thermosphere. Fine. Now, look here, please. In order for sun's energy to reach Earth's surface and sustain life, it must first get through what? The atmosphere. Is this point understood? Of course. Earth's, the energy or sun's energy to reach Earth's surface, it must pass through or get through the atmosphere. All of these waves or electromagnetic radiation or sun's energy must pass or get through the atmosphere. But I want to ask you a question. Please no one answer without permission. Do you think that, or do you think that the atmosphere allow all of these waves to pass through?
Can I answer?
Does the atmosphere allow
Can I answer?
for all waves to pass through it? طيب. Laith?
I'll say no, because some of them are harmful for the human bodies and
Good.
the atmosphere protect us from
Yes.
them.
Thank you. By the way, Nisreen, what do you can answer also?
Yeah, I wanted to say the same thing.
Yes, not all. Alhamdulillah, yani, fortunately, alhamdulillah, that the atmosphere, Earth's atmosphere, block most of these waves. Okay, it allows only a very small part of electromagnetic waves to get to Earth's surface. By the way, also some of these waves also reflected back to the space. Type. Let's see what happens. So the sun's energy to reach Earth's surface, they must get through the atmosphere. Point. Now, please highlight this. Earth's atmosphere, as I told you, is divided into what? Into layers based on temperature. These layers, troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, are different from each other according to the temperature. طيب. Some sunlight, look, some energy or some sunlight energy is absorbed or reflected by the different levels of atmosphere before it can reach the surface. Okay, highlight this also. So some of these or some of the light is absorbed or reflected by different levels of the atmosphere before it can reach surface. But الآن, what is the meaning of absorb and what is the meaning of reflect and what is the difference between them? Can
Can I
anyone tell
answer?
me?
Me?
طيب الآن, I won't suppose that this is a surface. So this is a surface, whatever, any surface, and this is a light. What happens to this light if this surface absorbed it? Absorb it. What is the meaning of absorption?
Like to, can I answer?
لا ما بديش. ليش بس ليث ونسرين؟ What about others؟ يعني others يعني بعرف انه في ناس كثير كويسين وبس بيحبوا يضلهم listening or listeners. No, I want you to participate.
I answer.
Others. طيب okay نسرين. When the light is absorbed, what does this mean?
It goes in it, but it doesn't go out of it. Like, it just
Excellent.
stays.
So when something or when light is absorbed by a surface, that means it enters it and it does not leave it. Absorb. Like when you لما تشرب إشي, when you drink something, يعني خلينا نحكي you absorbed it. Thank you. Leith, what is the meaning of reflection or when light is reflected or energy or sun's
Reflection is like to reflect something from its own path.
bounces off. يعني
Yes,
for example,
bounces off.
suppose, thank you Leith.
It does not
Suppose
save
that,
it.
نعم.
Back in, it does not save it.
Yes, if this light is reflected, so it will bounces off like this. Okay, like if you kick a ball on a wall, لو شطت الطابع حيط، شو راح يصير فيها؟ راح ترجع. This is called reflection. طيب, again, so now we have to know that sunlight or energy that comes from the sun or electromagnetic waves, some of them absorbed by the atmosphere and some of it reflected. طيب. What is UV?
Ultraviolet.
Yes, some ultraviolet wavelengths are absorbed by the topmost layer. What is the name of the topmost layer of the atmosphere?
Thermosphere.
Can I
Yes,
answer?
excellent. This is the topmost layer. This is. It's called thermosphere. By the way, what is the meaning of thermo?
Like thermal.
Do you remember the thermal energy? Yes.
Yes, it's like
Thermo means heat from thermometer. Okay. So the topmost layer, as you look at this figure, على figures are always important or very easy way to understand. Look, notice that most of the ultraviolet, this is the ultraviolet by its color. Most of the ultraviolet light, by the way, ultraviolet light is very dangerous and harmful to living things. As you see, most of it, the majority of it is absorbed here by the topmost layer of the atmosphere or thermosphere. Again, most of the ultraviolet radiation or ultraviolet waves are absorbed by the topmost layer of the atmosphere or thermosphere. So some ultraviolet wavelengths are absorbed by topmost layer of the atmosphere called the thermosphere. Now, more ultraviolet energy along with some infrared energy is absorbed in the next layer. What is the name of the next layer? The
mesosphere.
mesosphere. Look, waves, ultraviolet, infrared, this is infrared, and ultraviolet rays or waves that can pass through the thermosphere are absorbed by what? The second layer, the mesosphere. طيب.
Mr. Yusuf, where is the ozone located?
أيوة, good question. The answer is coming, but just wait. So, more ultraviolet energy along with some infrared energy is absorbed in the next layer, the mesosphere. Below that, in the stratosphere, ozone, this is the answer for your question. Ozone is present where? In the stratosphere. طيب. Below that, in the stratosphere, ozone layer or ozone absorbs. Do you know what is ozone? What is ozone? Is it solid, liquid, or gas? يلا بدي أشوفكم.
Gas? I think it's gas.
Since it's in the atmosphere, so it's a gas.
Of course, it's a gas.
Do you know the chemical formula for it? It's O3. Three oxygen atoms are bonded together. The ozone is made up of 3 atoms of oxygen bounded together like this, like a triangle shape. This is a bond, this is a bond, and this is a bond. This is oxygen atom, this is oxygen atom, this is oxygen atom. It's called ozone gas. Ozone gas found where? It is found in the stratosphere here, in this area, stratosphere, okay? Ozone is found here. It also absorbs or blocks infrared and ultraviolet light. طب الآن who can tell me what we call this part that is يعني mainly in green and other? What is this?
Those are the visible light.
Yes, this is the visible light that we can see. What do you notice
Rainbow
about
light.
the visible light? Notice that the visible light can pass through all layers of the atmosphere and reach Earth's surface. The visible light, all of the visible light can pass through the atmosphere, all layers of the atmosphere, the thermo, meso, strato, and tropo, and reach Earth's surface. طيب. Let's continue. So below that, in the stratosphere, ozone absorbs more infrared and ultraviolet energy. So more and more of ultraviolet and infrared are absorbed. Look how the ozone is very important for us. Without the ozone layer, what will happen? Sorry. Okay, without ozone layer, too much ultraviolet radiation would reach Earth's surface. Okay, if suppose that there is no ozone, much of the ultraviolet radiation will reach Earth's surface and threaten what? The health of organisms. Did you know why ultraviolet radiation is harmful? Because they always remember that
Causes cancer.
they have high energy. Okay, ultraviolet waves UV مش معناها يوفنتوس، ديروا بالكم. UV are very harmful because they have high energy. So since they have high energy, they can enter your skin. They are able to enter through your body. And if they enter your body, they can cause a change to your chromosomes or to your genes. Also, they can cause many diseases like skin cancer. Okay? So, ozone layer is very important. Unfortunately, did you know that ozone layer starts to disappear because of human activities, because of burning fossil fuels? Parts of the ozone layer are parts of the ozone layer disappeared or depleted.
أستاذ شو مع الحجر والكورونا مرة قالوا؟
لما صار في زي ما تقول انه خلينا نحكي الاوزون layer is replenished. Okay, so ozone layer is very important for us, for living things, because it prevent or absorb ultraviolet radiation. لما صار الكورونا صح والناس بطل السيارات تمشي، رجعت تحسنت الامور. طيب اوكي. However يعني although the mesosphere, stratosphere, and ozone absorb a lot of ultraviolet radiation and infrared, there is still amount of ultraviolet radiation that reaches Earth's surface. Can still be damaging. يعني there are, as you see here, look, this is the, sorry ضاير علينا 10 minutes للحصة. عندنا look, infrared and ultraviolet, it's absorbed in the thermosphere and also in the mesosphere and also in the stratosphere by ozone. But
أستاذ عادي تطلع لفوق شوي أشوف الهايلايت.
هسه برجع طيب don't worry. But as you see here, there is a small amount of infrared and ultraviolet radiation that can reach Earth's surface. So these small amounts of ultraviolet radiation can cause a damage to your health, and for this reason it is recommended to what? To wear clothes, sunscreen, and sunglasses, because they can prevent or protect you from what? The ultraviolet radiation. فهمتوا ليش بنلبس النظارات الشمسية السانسكرين ومش كويس مرات على فكرة نلبس البلايز اللي بتكون لها كم أحسن من إنه بدون هذول النص كم. أوكي؟ طيب. Now, خلينا, let's continue. By the time sunlight reaches the troposphere, there is some infrared radiation, some ultraviolet radiation, and visible light. يعني these three types, visible light reach the air surface, some small part of ultraviolet radiation and small part of infrared radiation can reach the air surface through the troposphere. طيب. Also, you have to know that some light reflected into space by clouds. Clouds also reflect, and you know what is the meaning of reflect or reflection. clouds reflect some of the light back to space. طيب here يعني this in fact many people ask me or many students ask me why the sky appear blue. Why the sky appear blue? This is because at the daytime sky on a cloudless day, when there is no clouds, or when there are no clouds, or a cloudless day, the sky appears blue because gas molecules scatter short wavelengths of visible light, which are blue and violet, more than the longer red and orange wavelengths. يعني simply, the clouds reflect or scatter the blue and violet waves, which are longer than red and orange wavelengths. For this reason, the sky appear blue. ما بعرف, get it or not?
Yes, I get it.
طيب. So this is everything about the sunlight and the atmosphere. Simply, I can summarize it for you like this, that most of sunlight is absorbed or reflected by the layers of the atmosphere: thermosphere, mesosphere, stratosphere. Only very small part of the sunlight comes to Earth's surface, very small part of the ultraviolet radiation and infrared and visible light reach Earth's surface. This is everything about.
يعني أستاذ بدك هدول الباراجرافز كلهم؟
يعني هذول الديتيلز هون. For example, here, it's important for me to know the layers or to memorize the different layers of the atmosphere and their order. Thermosphere from the top, thermosphere, mesosphere, stratosphere, troposphere. Also, you have to know that ultraviolet radiation and infrared radiation are absorbed. Most of them are absorbed by the different layers of the atmosphere. طيب خلينا, let's do this exercise. What would happen if all of the sun's energy were to reach Earth?
We will die from
It
the
will be very
UV
hot.
rays.
Excellent, طيبة. Excellent, طيب. First, the planet will be more and more hot, and also it will cause a threat to what? To organisms.
May cause cancer.
Because they are harmful. So write the answer, please. It would heat up the planet. It would heat up the planet and cause or pose a threat to what?
Pause. مكتوب pause.
Pause, sorry, pause. هيا. Yes. What is the meaning, actual meaning of pause? يعني I think
Stop.
cause, like cause, I think
Oh,
it's the same
that's
meaning.
something else.
خلاص, that's right. طيب الآن خلينا نشوف discussion. Do you have any comments?
No, thank you.
طيب. طب بدي احكي لكم شغله. To understand absorption, who can give me another example of absorption? Something absorbed. I don't mean light or energy. It's from your life.
Food.
absorbed by يعني your stomach or intestine. good. طيب مين شوف في الملطخ عندكم سبونج صح؟ في حدا بالبيت ما عندوش سبونج؟ ما
بس it absorbs water.
يس
absorbs the water.
يس. طيب ولما بتحط على جلدك كريم وين بيروح الكريم بعدين؟
تحت جسمك جلدك.
جلد your skin
The skin
absorb the lotion of the
absorb it.
cream. طيب ولما ليث بتلهط عصير انت او شو بصير؟
والله تعصير.
مش انت
فوت جوا معدتي.
يعني هذا مثال بالمصاصه هاي. طيب اوكي. also roots of the plant absorb what? water and minerals from what? roots of the plant absorb what? water and nutrients from ايش؟
sunlight.
from the soil. صح؟ grade 8. طيب طيب goodbye. see you إن شاء الله tomorrow.
إن شاء الله. السلام عليكم.
goodbye. thank you very much.
Welcome. Bye.
goodbye. مي باردة؟ مي باردة؟